Alright guys, welcome back. Game number 3. It's the finals and it's already match point. The guy who's just started playing Legacy of the Void. His first time. Never played a ladder match, never played custom versus friends, and he makes it to the finals, but then starts falling apart in the finals. In the top left corner of the map, it's Axiom's Ryung.
In the top right, as the Red Terran, it's Miso.
And I mean, this is really the best display, I think, of experience versus inexperience you're ever going to see in the game. Because these are two players who, mechanically speaking, macro speaking, like, they're probably on point with one another. Miso just knows how Legacy of the Void works, so Ryung is, well, he's digging baby steps. It's his first time playing.
Ryung's a little babby. He's so cute. Well, because they both go for expansions in this game, so it's not, I mean, that last game was a little weird. I thought if he had gone into Banshees, it would have done something, but then the Cyclone really is a catch-all. Like, it deals with tanks, medevacs, Vikings, and Banshees.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? Chat was the first to obviously jump on this saying, you know, one unit shuts down all aggression. Nice game design, Blizzard. Not actually the case. The Cyclone doesn't stop all early game aggression, but it does stop the one unit type of aggression. You know, it's going to 1v1 most things pretty easily. You could still push with a decent amount of Marines. You still come with a medevac. You could still unload, and Widow Mines, of course, no detection, blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying that there's counters to the Cyclone that are so easy to pull off, but it is not a one-all miracle unit. I mean, the worst case scenario, you match a Cyclone with your own Cyclone. It becomes like when Banshee versus Banshee was the hot shit.
Yeah. But if Cyclone Opers are always going to be a thing, then it is going to be hard to fit Banshees into place unless you just make them to do a push, you know, like no aggression at all. Because the risk of using them just seems too high.
I agree, and that's why when we started casting, I said, like, I really saw them maybe falling out of the matchup, because it really depended on how I guess, dedicated things like that were going to be. I mean, we still saw and still see a decent amount of Banshees come into TVT, but they are already falling out. From what was, like, immediately QXC throwing 5-6 Banshees away in the first TVT we ever cast in, like, Legacy of the Void, we get to a point now where folks aren't even opening with them. So there's still so much to change. The units themselves are going to get balanced versus imbalanced, and we'll see really where this goes over the next couple of months, because nothing is going to stay the same. I guarantee you, whatever the finished polished product of Legacy of the Void is, it's not going to look anything like the games you're seeing now.
Well, yeah, of course.
Hopefully.
I just, you know, Banshee attacks are still going to be kind of, like, Banshees with tanks as a push could still be powerful, but then you're also giving up, you know, potential for a medevac to pick up that siege tank or a Viking to get that air dominance. So, I mean, no one really has these very special pushes, you know, Ravager rushes basically is one thing, and then what else do we really know? Like, is there a 1-1-1 that we don't know about? So you don't play enough ladder or anything? It doesn't seem like it. People are just kind of guessing at what a good composition is and what a good build is, and they're like, okay, that worked. Let's go with it. You know, there's a lot of abusive timings yet, besides the Ravager rush.
So I poked Olivia just now. She just kind of answered me while this game was opening up. Yo, what's up with Ryung? Like, did he not? Is he too proud? Does he not want to ask MMA for help? Does he not want to seek advice from other Terrans who play this matchup? And she says, I don't know, Emma, we probably just went to sleep and left Ryung to drown. Which, I don't know, that just sounds like something would happen, right? All caps lock, she says, every man for himself, goodbye! So, maybe Ryung is really just floundering here as he learns. But, I mean, the thing is, he's kind of already adapted. Cyclone of his own coming out. Lots of factories for the opener. I mean, right now, most compositions you'll see are Cyclone and Hellion heavy. Not to say it's the only thing you'll see, because siege tanks are still a very, very core part of this matchup. But early game, they go a long way.
I can't wait until the Cyclone is nerfed, because it has to be. Everything that's overpowered right now is overpowered because they intentionally made it overpowered, basically. Like, they put a lot of damage on it just to make everyone use it. So it's got to be nerfed at some point. I just can't wait for that to happen and everyone has to readjust, you know? Like,
I kind of like that, though, because when you tone it down, it's no longer, like, that one guy who was really good on ladder because he could only cheese with the overpowered unit.
Right.
Like, you'll see things settle and the dust will calm and blah,
it's
blah,
like
blah, blah.
those couple of, you know, patch surges early at Breathlord and Fester.
It's funny, though, because it's so easy to say, like, it will get balanced. But for me, I'm sitting here, like, how does it get balanced, though, right? That's the big question. You know, do you over-nerf it? Do you completely, I don't know, destroy it like you did with the Widow Mine when you quote-unquote balanced it the first 5 or 7 times? I mean,
technically you could just reduce numbers on most of everything that's new and still have a pretty entertaining game.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're also looking at actually, mixing things up. Whether the lock-on should be here or should not, or the Ravager should be, attack speed wise or whatnot. But hopefully that'll come soon. I know people have actually been asking already, only like a week or whatever into like the void. Where's the patch for it? I'm just like, calm down.
Ryung doesn't know where his opponent spawned, and I think he's gearing up to check the bottom right. Ryung, why are you knowing Reaper?
Oh, it's kind of funny. It's gonna give Miso the time to go ahead and get a couple of tanks to really help defend. He got a very fast third. Is this a Marine scouting that Ryung got a third too?
I mean, this is what I like though. This small representation of the beta is what I think is my favorite thing about it. The fact that you see these really fast thirds. Now, it's not just TVT that this happens, but this is like all matchups. The encouragement of that economy change. Now, I know there's perfections that need to be made, and some agree, some don't. I mean, personally, I'm happy with it as is, just because I love seeing the difference. But maybe it gets even better from here. The point of it is, though, you're no longer sitting with these one-base Terran openers where 1/1/1's the only thing you can do, otherwise you die. That's a lot of Cyclones out of Ryung. He has really taken learning from his mistakes to the next level.
Yeah. I would like to see from Miso, I mean, I guess that doesn't really cover it either. Like, what does he do against so many Cyclones? I think just having good tanks and good positions will deal with it, but...
yeah, I think tanks are going to be key. We saw that last game, or... Was it last game? Yeah, when Ryung game 1. There's just no tanks out for Ryung.
Yeah, and also game of the May. Right. But it is, still the case where if they're on the other side and they slowly pull back, kind of like, the Swarm hosts as they were before, then Cyclones are still really, really good. They can kite these tanks and cause a lot of them to die before they're even able to siege up. I mean,
you already killed all the Hellies. That's the cannon fodder gun. Now he's going to come back in and auto attack. I don't even know if he knows he could target it manually. He's just going to keep dipping in there and walking away, thinking they had latched on when they hadn't. But there we go. He actually does start clicking. He did double target one. You can't double target unless you manually do it. There's still more siege tanks up, and I mean, Ryung still looks like he's in a good spot to hold. He's got more CCs on the way, but this is pretty dedicated out of Miso.
Yeah. So I mean, once Miso got into a good position on that choke, right, then the Cyclones are no longer useful.
I don't know about the Cyclones, but they have more tanks coming. I don't know, dude. Like this is
not that many.
Yeah, I guess maybe it was the slow push, and you just